Welcome back to another episode of Picking Up the Pixels RPG Love. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Musim.
Hello.
And Mina.
Hi.
Let's just dive right into it because it's 111 degrees here right now, so I want to wrap this thing up. Let's start, Musim, with what you've been playing this past month.
Okay. So I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles off and on.
So me too. Because of what you said last month, I had to dive in.
Is this the first
what
one?
I said last month.
Is this the first one or the second one?
The first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've just been doing side quests in that game. I got the I can't remember her name. The female lead of the game that you get, 40 hours into the 120-hour experience. I can't remember her name. The woman with wings on her head. But
yeah, I don't remember her name.
Anyway, I guess that's kind of a minor spoiler, but
yeah, I won't say the name, but like
yeah.
I got that too.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that
pretty
seems
much
like a heavy spoiler.
All right. Well,
It
RPG,
came out of left field for me. It came out I had no idea that was going to happen. I don't know how to put it into words. I was distraught.
Oh, okay. Like, I'm just talking about her race in terms of the.
Oh.
Like, if there's a spoiler beyond that, I may have never reached it in the game before. So,
it's a JRPG. Someone's going to get wings at some point.
Pretty much, I've just been going through and trying to complete the quests. And, like, there's a series of quests where you have to get an item near, like, a level 80 enemy. And I've gotten all of them but one. And I don't know that I'm going to get this last one. I think I'm just going to give up and move on with my life. Because it's, like, you have to go in this underground tunnel, and there's, like, a giant... What is it? I think it's a giant spider. And then a bunch of cocoon things that'll burst into these other big giant dudes.
Yeah, is that the way you're supposed to go?
So I was talking to my friend who's this huge Xenoblade fan, and his advice was you have to go in there, you have to basically get the spider's attention, you have to run out, ideally without exposing those cocoons, and then you have to go back in and grab the item once you get out of combat before the spider gets back to the center. And after trying that 5 times... Is that how
you're supposed to do it?
I have no idea.
You're probably supposed to come back at, like, level 95.
I don't think the rewards are, like, level 95 worthy, though.
Right.
That's the thing. So...
Right.
And the amount of cocoons in that place, like, literally you could get,
so many.
Yeah, like a dozen level 80 enemies on you.
I walked in there thinking, like, because the thing, you get this quest very early on, right? Like, this was like a super early quest. Yeah. I went over there and I was like, that can't be, like, I must be going the wrong way. There must be, like, another tunnel somewhere. Like, I'm clearly entering this the wrong way. And I've, like, looked around and I'm like, that appears to be the only way to that.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I'm giving up on it. Like, it was like I had my friend expert there who just knows, like, 75% of his time is either playing Xenoblade 1, 2, or X. Like,
oh, wow.
Right.
That is his life. And, that's cool and all. And it's good for me when I have no idea what I'm doing in Xenoblade.
Right.
But even if he couldn't coach me through that scene, then it's a lost cause. So,
right.
I don't know. I gotta advance the story to that. Like, I know there's a huge twist at some point in that game, and I gotta get to it. And
I think I'm ahead of you.
Okay. Yeah, I literally just got that character in my party.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm ahead of you. All right.
Okay.
Things are making sense.
Yeah. But I don't have a lot more to say about that. Did you want to go ahead and chat about it, Mina?
Well, so, like, it's weird because I got off of playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to, like, immediately go into this, and I like, okay, so the first time I played this game, I kind of fell off the wagon pretty early. I got why am I what is her name? Shara. I recruited Shara to go save her brother, and I stopped right there. That was as far as I got the first time I played the game. And it just didn't hook me the same way as Xenoblade Chronicles 2 did. And I don't know why Xenoblade Chronicles 2 hooked me better than the first one.
My money's on the gotcha element.
Maybe I pulled Cosmos literally the first pull, and I was like,
that's right.
that immediately drug me in, I guess, because I remember posting that in the middle of the night, and Musim responded very shortly after I posted.
I still don't have Cosmos in 2. Every time I play, I'll gather X amount of legendary cores, and then I won't get Cosmos, and then I'll get mad and stop playing it for a month or two.
Musim, I only own 20 of those things. Maybe not even 20, maybe 18. It's not even 20. But I know a lot of my friends, they have the entire, all of them except for Cosmos. She's the only one missing from their entire catalog. Jeez. And they're just this drives me back.
There's a 0.02% chance or something that you get her. It's a really, really low number.
It's absurdly low.
I feel like they should just give it to us at this point. Sorry.
So I don't know why I stopped, but all I know is I stopped right there, and I was like, what? I'm really gonna push through this story. I'm really gonna do. And I must have spent. I think the graphics also helped me this time around, because the game looks the characters and the models look way better.
Oh yeah,
way better. And I know that shouldn't be a thing that should deter me from it, but before the graphics had this weird. I don't mind bad graphics, but the style of it was just not appealing to me in the slightest.
It was too big of a game for the Wii. Yeah.
It looked really bad.
Yeah.
But I knew the game was good, but it didn't look very good.
Yeah.
It didn't need to look that bad. But so I've done pretty much every side quest that I possibly could, except for the one that you mentioned. There's another one that has a similar problem to that I've been there's got to be another way to get to it. You would not give me this quest if there was not a way for me to get to this. This is ridiculous. So I've been trying to scour how to get to this location, and I don't know. I'm enjoying it, and do I like it more than Xenoblade Chronicles 2? I don't know. It's weird. I think I like this first one's story more. Maybe it feels I feel more invested in the story and maybe a little more in these characters. 'Cause I also haven't noticed them talking that much. They don't talk that much, and it really feels like some of the lines have been pulled back some. For whatever reason, I have not heard Rhyme Time.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I haven't heard what's going on
that either.
Okay, that's bugging me. That bugs me, because I remember hearing it's Rhyme Time over and over and over and over.
20 times a battle.
I remember hearing it once.
Oh man.
I do really like the skill notifications, though.
Yeah.
That is a new feature to the enhanced version.
Oh, nice.
So
the little exclamation points on when you're in the right angle to hit someone from the side or the back or whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I also got to you would be past this part. I got to the town building part. Rebuilding part. And
I'd completely forgot about that until I opened it up this last time.
I had to open a guide eventually, because one of the materials I needed, I was just I can't. I've scoured the area and I can't figure it out. I eventually found that in was it like an NPC would give it to me if I traded them? Because that's new features. You can trade NPCs stuff for their stuff. And then they also sometimes, if you over give them stuff, they're like, here, have this extra stuff. So,
I haven't really messed with that part yet. Like, I'm afraid of losing something permanently I need.
Right.
Hence me opening a guide, because I was just like, I need this thing. Can't find it. And then, like, I read how, like, it's like a super low drop or super low collectible drop out in the wild. And it's like, you're probably better off just trading this NPC some garbage and you'll get it. But yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I like it.
Nice.
Cool. I'm a fan too. And like I said last time, I will probably be playing it for the rest of the year and not having beaten it. So I'll go ahead and knock out the rest of my Switch games right now. So I kind of took a chance on an indie game. This game is called Dex, D-E-X. It turns out, I meant to Google it before this podcast. I think it was a Kickstarter game. And I think I found that out when I beat it and the credits rolled and they started listing all these backers. Dex is basically 2D Deus Ex in execution.
Okay.
So you have kind of your future cyberpunk whatever world, and you're running around and you have some special ability. Like, everyone jacks into computers now, and they have a computer jack on their head or something, like Shadowrun or Matrix or something. But your character's special and she has like brain Wi-Fi or something like that. Like, that's kind of the initial stick, is these guys are after you. You don't know why. And for some reason, you don't have a jack on your neck. You just hack things mentally. In execution, like, the game's a bit janky. Like, it is more than the sum of its parts. Like, it's kind of melee and whatever combat focused, which isn't very good, but it's manageable. And like, the hacking system is kind of this bullet hell, float around and shoot security systems. And then, like, I wound up kind of like, it's not quite save scumming it. Like, whatever you hack in a thing, whatever you destroy in a thing will carry over the next time you log into it. So you have all these things in the cyber world where like, they'll keep reproducing things that will shoot you. So once you kill one of them, I would basically back out, save my game, and then log back in. And that thing would be gone, and whatever they produced would be gone. So it was a nice deal. You basically have probably a dozen skills. It takes the Deus Ex approach of, you can hack your way in, you can lockpick your way in, or you can fight your way in. But the other part to that is, by the end of the game, you're going to have like 80% of your skills maxed. The world it's in is, I think, pretty cool. Like, when you're walking around the city in this 2D world, you have all these various citizens walking around, and of course you have some named ones, but just the regular ones that you can't talk to make it feel like a lived-in world and like an actual slum in parts. And the most surprising thing about this is the game is all the characters in the game are fully voice acted, and
oh, nice.
There's a lot of character dialogue, and the voice acting is actually pretty good for the most part.
It looks like there's some cool combat. I'm for anyone watching the live stream, the trailer for Dex is here on the right next to me. I'm playing it while we're chatting.
Yeah. Like, it's man, I really like this game a lot, but it is like, the hacking really isn't very fun. It's weird because I just want to talk about all these issues I had with the game.
Right.
Even though I enjoyed my own, like, I think if you examined any single system in that game, you would find a lot of faults and a lot of complaints about it. But I feel like the package as a whole, wandering around that 2D world and doing all these cool side quests, and like, the side quest stories, I think, are some of the most interesting ones. You find a waitress who can't find her brother, and you kind of got to go sleuth your way to find him, and then kind of decide what to do with him after you find him. And they don't, it's also Deus Ex in that the majority of decisions you make throughout the game, it's not like a branching narrative thing necessarily. Like it's maybe you could compare it to like a Fallout or Wasteland type thing where you'll make a decision and it might immediately affect a couple things, but for the most part, you're going to keep going on to the next thing. Most of the people are still going to talk to you. You're not dueling factions against each other or something like that.
Right.
It did hard crash on me a few times.
This is on Switch?
It's on, I think it's on everything, but I know it's on...
At the end of the trailer, it showed it's even on Vita, so Vita Island can be happy.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That must have been... I don't know when that game came out on the other platforms, but I bet that was... There are a lot of Kickstarters that were like, we're offering a Vita version, and then like the Vita was dead by the time...
Yeah, 2 years later, they're like, well...
Yeah. But I don't know, man. Like, it's... You could say it's kind of a Metroidvania in that, like... You got to get the cybernetic enhancements to jump if you want to be able to get to certain areas and whatnot. But I don't know. It's a cool game.
This is cool.
I think as long as you're willing to live with the, a little bit of glitchiness, maybe, and approach it as an indie game, I think you'll have a really good time with it.
That's Dex, DEX.
Yeah. So I also played a little bit of West of Loathing on Switch.
Yeah, West of Loathing.
Like, they had a sale on the DLC, and I bought it, and I thought, I'm just going to take my character from the Switch version and immediately go play it. And it turns out I had never played my copy of the Switch version.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. So I kind of just started a new game, and Susie, my wife, loves West of Loathing, so I kind of went to her for advice on when to start the DLC. And evidently, when you go to the DLC area, you can't come back. So
okay.
She recommended if I wanted to beat the game with that character, just go do it. So I started a bean slinger, and my goal is to go become the necromancer, because I think that's a thing you can do.
Did you ever see the concept art booklet that came with the limited edition?
What? They have a concept art book?
So every character has 2 pages. The first page is a concept art, and it's like this beautifully drawn, like fully 3D, incredible looking piece of art. And then on the other page is the in-game screenshot, and it's just the stick figure.
My gosh.
It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
West of Loathing is so good.
I just, and I read somewhere that they didn't make any money off of their Switch version. So come on, guys.
Bummer.
It's like $9. Go buy it.
Yeah, it's well worth $9. It's so good.
Like, even on this playthrough, I'm seeing tons of stuff I didn't know was there. I hadn't seen before. And
yeah.
The Bean Slinger's powers are so vastly different from the last class I did, which was the Snake Oiler. Like,
right.
I'm summoning a bean golem, and I can't remember what my other powers are. Like, I have a fireball, and then I have like a bean shield, and I can summon a bean wall. And
Mina sent me a link. I just put it on the live stream of the Doc Alice concept art and final art.
Oh, that's awesome!
So good.
I need to.
It's so
I need
great.
to track down a copy.
Yeah.
I was so bad now. Let's see. What else? Oh, yeah, and I'm traveling with the Goblin, Gary, who is...
Oh, okay.
absolutely hilarious. I love Gary. I can see... Susie says she always picks Gary, and I hadn't picked him before, and I can see why now, just because he can barely talk, and he's just really charming. And it's weird because, like, one of his combat abilities is he spawns, like, a clone that just grows out of his shoulder. Anyway.
God, we want to play
everyone should go play.
Again.
Yeah, everyone should go play West of Loathing. It's so good.
And it's cheap, too. And they had it on sale a few days ago. I don't know if it still is. It probably isn't. But, you can get it in the DLC, I'm sure, for like 10 or 15 bucks. So now to PC Adventures, which I I'm discovering I have to turn in my PC gamer card because I genuinely do not enjoy gaming on my PC after this last month.
Oh no.
The first thing was Remnant from the Ashes. They came out with a DLC, and ever since they did that, on my main computer, it just crashes constantly.
Oh man.
Oof.
Basically crashes to an extent that it's virtually unplayable on my main computer.
Oh boy.
So I eventually got the bright idea of remembering that I owned a laptop that had a slightly better graphics card in it. So I installed it and have been playing on my TV, and it has worked well, I think, for that game. I've been playing a bunch of that with my nephew, and I still really like that game. Like, it gets more like Dark Souls as you go. Like, I find myself dying. Like, one of the last dungeons I did a couple days ago, like, I got to 2 of the end characters in it, like, just before the boss, and they killed me, and it'd take me, like, a half hour to get to that point or something like that. I'm like, I'm not going to repeat that right now.
Right.
But I still get to keep all my stuff from, that run, so it's not like I gotta go find my corpse or something like that. But
right.
That game, I just continue to really enjoy that. Like, it has a really rewarding leveling system and its traits, and that I don't really know what the requirements to unlock each trait are, but I know every once in a while it'll be like, you unlocked Exploiter, and I guess that means I probably shot someone in the weakness enough times, and now I can level up a trait that focuses on that.
Right.
I really enjoy, like, I'm getting these mods, like, your mods are your powers in the game, right? That you equip on your rifle or your pistol. And I've been equipping basically summoner mods. So, like, I have one that summons 2 turrets, that's pretty nice. Ooh. And I have another that summons these 2 flying skulls. And the 2 flying skulls are so aggressive that most of the time when I enter a new area and I can see enemies in the distance, I just summon them, summon the turrets, and wait for all the enemies to start funneling towards me, because my skulls are just going to find them all. It's pretty nice. But I look forward to seeing more of that game. So the next one is Wasteland 3. And if you follow me on Twitter, you saw me completely melt down on Twitter about it's not Wasteland 3's fault. It's I've been tired of Steam for a while. I'm really have never been a fan of their UI for Steam. Like, big picture mode is better.
Even the new UI is still sort of like, it's not great.
So when GOG Galaxy came out and said, you know what, we'll keep track of all the games you have installed on all the different platforms, and we'll talk to them, and you can also get GOG games from us. I thought, this is great.
Yep.
And started using that. What I didn't realize is that evidently this is a common problem that they have had with quite a few of their games when they release it, in that GOG Galaxy doesn't always realize you own something from GOG. So,
ironically,
yeah. So, like,
I've had that problem.
Oh no,
it is so infuriating.
I'm so sorry. Like, if I had seen your Twitter post before, like, I came to your Twitter post after you had already figured it out.
I feel like I can't remember the last thing that just sent me to, like, blind rage as quickly as
just spiraling.
Yeah, like, so it actually happened to me twice. Like, the first time, I didn't realize it was happening. I had registered Wasteland 3 with GOG. I was waiting for the preload to happen, and it never happened. And then Friday came around. I'm like, why is this still not showing up? Started reading up on forums and realized, this happens with a lot of games. I tried a lot of different items, eventually deleted this storage folder under, like, program data, and then it rebuilt his database, and then it freaking showed up. So cool.
Nice.
Installed it, started playing it. My computer does not run it very well. This is before I remembered I had a better laptop. So I played it for a while and enjoyed it, and then, like, a few days after playing it, it disappeared from my GOG library.
Great.
Yeah, that happens.
At that time, I'd installed it on my laptop too, and it disappeared from there as well.
I've had that happen.
what is happening? And like, I'm just going insane trying to troubleshoot it and do whatever. And finally, I just turned in a ticket, and the support came back and said, yeah, no, we had a specific issue with Wasteland 3 doing this. It should be back in your library right now. Just go to the search bar and look for it.
Nice. And
I did that, and it worked. But why did that happen the first time? Like,
and also for a GOG game, like it that should work the easiest.
Yeah, it is absolutely crazy. Like, Mina, how did you solve yours when you did it?
I probably stressed because it's been a while. I stressed out really badly. I couldn't find it, couldn't figure out, like, because I spent I don't have a lot of money, so when I buy something, it's kind of a big deal, and I couldn't find it. I was like, well, I'll just refund it, and then like I refunded it, and I was so frustrated because I wanted to play whatever the game was. I don't remember. Was so badly, and then like I did some research on, because like I wanted the refund immediately. I was like, if I can't figure this out within like 24 hours,
it's not worth it.
Then just give me my money back.
Yeah.
So I think I ended up buying it on Steam, but then I had to go back and figure out what was going on, because I own some things on GOG, and you know, then I just found out like this happens sometimes where and I think one of my friends got me something on GOG. I don't remember. And when I tried to install that one, it too vanished. While like I played it, the next day it came back, it was gone, just gone. And I was like,
geez.
where did it go? Where did the game go? It was here. I played it. I literally played it yesterday. Within 12 hours ago, I played it.
Jeez.
And it was just gone. And I think I did the same thing. I sent a ticket in because I was like, my friend bought this for me. I can't be that person who...
Right, like, thanks for the gift, but...
And I know you don't like Steam, but I'm like, Steam has never taken a game from my inventory.
You know,
like
neither is Origin, neither is the Bethesda launcher, neither is
Uplay. Right.
They've never ripped a game from my hands.
Like, it's so crazy. Like, I want GOG to be my primary, but I guess it's back to Steam. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what else to do there. So I like GOG, I like CD Projekt Red, but I mean, I guess unless it's a game I can only get on GOG, I'm probably just not going to do it. Like, Wasteland 3 is a Kickstarter game for me, so what is my refund option at that point? Like,
right. And I mean, you can download the games from the GOG website, but like it doesn't have all the benefits of the Galaxy launcher and all that. So it's like that's not even like that's an alternative, but not a great one.
And like for old games, that's probably more fine than new games. For Wasteland, that's going to have continuous updates, and on top of that, it's like I looked it up for downloading it on the website. It's like 12 files. Like, it's part 1 through...
That's like, here's 12 10-gig files. It's like, oh, thanks.
Can't you buy games from GOG and then use the key on Steam? Isn't that a thing? I can't remember now.
I think sometimes, maybe.
Sometimes.
I think it works vice versa. I think specific games, if you own them on Steam, GOG will also let you own them.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it goes the other way. I may be wrong, but...
I don't remember. I remember... I thought I bought a game off of GOG, and then I was able to... Like, it had, like, the Steam key that I could take over to Steam. I don't remember, though.
Yeah, it might be up to the developers, too.
It might... Yeah, I think it might actually be developer-specific, and not just across it all.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of them do it, like... You know, when Origin first started, they let you import your EA games from Steam.
Right.
Yep.
So I don't know. It may just be stuff like that. I maybe you're right. I'm completely wrong, but
I don't remember.
Anyway,
I haven't done it in a while.
So Wasteland 3.
So let's talk about Wasteland 3.
Let's talk about the actual game. I like Wasteland 3 a lot. Okay, so the sentence I want to say is it makes Wasteland 2 look like a prototype, and it's comparable to like an Assassin's Creed 2 to Assassin's Creed 1.
Oh, okay.
But Wasteland 3 has some interesting jank in it.
Okay.
So like they have a button, they have a quick save button and a quick load button. And you would think if you hit quick load, it would just load the last save game on file. Like whether that's an auto save, a manual save, or a quick save. It doesn't. It ignores
quick save specific.
It ignores auto saves.
So.
And I don't know if it ignores manual saves because I just stopped using it once I realized it ignored auto saves. I assume it just either automatically loads a quick save or a manual save, but it's that button is rendered completely useless if I'm not quick loading the most recent save, right?
Right.
So then the other part that I didn't know was a glitch until I started playing on my laptop. On some of the NPCs, they'll actually go to like an up-close face portrait style conversation. That did not occur on my main PC.
Oh, okay.
Like, I probably played 8 hours or something on my main PC before it, got moved over to my laptop, and then I figured out how to hook my laptop up to my TV and all that, which was definitely the way to go. And then I was talking to Farron Brygo, who's a mobster in the game, which, if you didn't know, In Exile, the company that makes Wasteland, their CEO's name is Brian Fargo. So,
right.
Farron Brygo, I don't think looks anything like Brian Fargo,
Right.
but I guess he's a character from the first Wasteland as well. But
okay.
Man, Wasteland 3 is basically XCOM meets like a Larian Studios game, like a Divinity. Because you get like just a mass amount of conversation options. You get to, right out the gate, like the game starts, you get to make 2 characters, and then pretty soon you get to make 2 more. And you can have like 6 characters into your party, and like the other 2 are generally reserved for like NPCs, like pre-made
Guest characters?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on top of that, like you get a skill called like Charm Animal, and you can literally walk up to any animal in the world and charm them. So like some of the first battles I was doing, I had like an army of like 3 or 4 cats. Just
now you're talking my language.
Like they aren't even like tigers or panthers. They're like household cats just attacking.
That's really good.
Which is awesome. And you feel like it's great. Until one of them dies, because they're not that hard to kill.
Right.
So, be careful with that.
You need the, like, animals run away when knocked out mod.
Yeah. But they do have, like special animals in the world. So, one of the animals I found is a cat named Major Tomcat, and he has a ranger hat on. Because
that's really good.
My God.
That's
you're
really
always
good.
The Rangers. And Major Tomcat has more hit points than the other cats. And so he has survived, and I've appreciated that.
Oh, my goodness.
I did find
really good.
some literal robot chickens, but they seem to die pretty quick. Trying to think. Those have been most of the animals. And like the level seems to be dependent on the type of animal you can recruit. So like your first point on Charm Animal, you're only going to get the cats. Second point, you can start getting wolves in the wilds or things like that. But anyway, the other thing is the friendly unit AI for those things. Like you don't control them. They kind of control themselves. And they're not very bright. So the last battle I did in the game, you walk in basically to a giant trap where you have the enemy on the high ground with a rocket launcher, and you have to go kind of this long way around to get up to the rocket launcher guy. That basically my animals walked up to the face of the cliff that he was at the top of, like the bottom of it, and then just went in a circle every single turn. So that part's not great, but overall, like, the side quests in the game are really well written and really interesting, and like the gray areas of the games I find real interesting. So the whole story is you're from your ranger battalion, whatever. That's not a word. Battalion. You're from the ranger group over in Arizona, which was from Wasteland 2, and you're after you're out to help the local populace establish a ranger base, which pretty quickly you are given the keys to rebuilding that base, which is also awesome. And you're also after a group of rangers that the main base lost contact with, which includes a character that was in Wasteland 2, and I'm pretty sure she was in Wasteland 1 as well, but I don't remember. I meant to look that up. All the characters in this game are voice acted. Like, I feel like that's Microsoft dollars right there going.
Yeah.
It's just a really cool game. Like, the Colorado is ruled by the patriarch, and he has like 3 rebellious children who are trying to overthrow him. So when you get there, like, you're automatically allies with the patriarch, and I can tell the game's gonna probably let you jump off that at some point and either go against him or join one of the kids or whatnot. Like, I suspect if it winds up like 2, it's going to be like a Fallout New Vegas situation where you make friends with all these different factions and they help you at the end with a big battle. But it's I adore this game. It has not gotten near the amount of press attention that I feel like it should. So
yeah, I've seen a couple people talking about it on Twitter, like Kat Bailey over at US Gamer, but like of course she's going to talk about it because she's, you know, as deep into RPGs as we are. But other than that, it sort of seems like it's flying under the radar for now, even with it coming out on Xbox One and PS4, which I was sort of expecting that to sort of help it along a little bit.
Well, it's on Game Pass too, so.
Oh, right, yeah, because they're a Microsoft studio. Yeah. So you can get it for free.
Exactly. But anyway, that's all I've been playing this month, and hopefully next month will be an easier PC month for me.
Right. Hopefully. All right, Mina, what have you played this month?
So this quarantine has kind of taken its toll on me, and I was like, I need to play something relaxing and get me back in a good space. And I was like, Persona 4 sounds good.
Yeah, the old standby.
So I played quite a bit of Persona 4 on Steam. By the way, if you owned it and you were having like some problems before, I know they did a recent patch with some. Yep. I mean, real recent. So
like this week. Like 2 days ago.
So like I didn't have the I guess I wasn't bothered by whatever visual bugs people were having. I don't know. I'm slower, and so things don't bug me as much. I have no idea. But I was enjoying it just fine, and I've pushed past the part where I've recruited Kanji. Okay. So that's how far I am in. And I've been really taking my time with it, trying to look around and just kind of look around the game and enjoy the world and talk to every NPC. I've talked to every NPC.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Like every new school day, I'm like, let me go make sure nobody new has anything to say. Like, I don't know. Right. I'm gonna take my time, and it's just been lovely. I do want to go back and play Persona 5 Royal, but I just wanted to play something like this month. I don't know. I've just been in this headspace where I'm like, I need to play something.
Some comfort food.
Yeah, comfort food, basically.
Yeah.
No, 100%. That's why I was playing West of Loathing. Like,
right. It's going to put you in a good mood no matter how you're feeling.
That's right. That's right.
So that was one of the main things I was playing. The other thing I played was I got into this mobile game called Guardian Tales. The reason why I got into it was because they were doing a promotional event where you were getting like free 10 pulls for 5 days or something like that. And
oh, wow.
It's over. So it's too late for that. But I got into it. It's strange, you know. I don't like the PvP aspect of it at all. Like, chuck that out the window. I do not care for that at all. But as far as like, if we're talking about like the content from the PvE side, that's quality. It makes some really good movie references, game references. Like all kinds of references in the game. Many of them fly over my head. The one that didn't fly over my head was you end up at this school for magical students, and like you know where that reference is going right there. But then like the reference that took time to culminate, and I don't want to spoil what happens, but you meet two twins, a boy and a girl. One of them's a white mage and the other one's kind of like a DPS. And I didn't think too deeply about the plot line of that of that story until it got to the end, and you're about to be defeated by the big bad in that area, and the two twins are like, we'll push it back. And I was like, no, twins, don't. And then they turned to stone. And,
I was wondering if that's where it was going to go.
Right? And like, yep. I told someone what that reference was, and they'd never seen Final Fantasy IV. And they're like, well, it might be a reference to something else. And I'm like, no.
Probably not.
Two twins pushing back this wall of darkness and turning to stone. No. And then if you try talking to their statues, it says that like they willingly gave themselves up and they turned themselves to stone willingly.
Oh man,
you could do.
Right.
And I was just like, oh my chest. And then like, so the cool thing is, I know a lot of gacha games. You have like what we would call like a normal story mode, and then you get to replay the same areas again, and it's like, you know, this is hard difficulty, and you come back and it's very hard difficulty.
Right.
So the state of progression in this game is after you beat the normal mode, later on you unlock hard mode, you go back to those areas and it picks up the story where you left off. So like the story continues. Hard mode is not just, every enemy we raise the levels by like 20.
Right. It's like the second part.
Yeah, part 2 of like a trilogy of what's going on in this chapter. So I got back to that particular chapter, and what was the reference that time? I know there's a movie about it, but one of the characters is very stressed out about the twins being turned that way, and they want to go back in time to fix it. And things get worse. Their deaths get worse, and they're like, we got to go back again. You know, take that time travel back again. The game is immensely entertaining. So like, here's what I'll say. Like, I know like it's really hard to sell people on a gacha game if they're not gonna they don't want to play a gacha game, but it's like, I recommend, like, don't spend, first of all, like, don't spend money.
Right.
But, like, I would go and explore the PvE aspect of it. Like, imagine this game is more PvE, beat the game, and then, you know, delete it off your phone. I don't care.
Yeah.
And the play style of it is more like the old 2D Zeldas, like...
I just played a trailer on the live stream here, and it has that like 2D top-down kind of dungeon crawling, action-y sort of gameplay.
Yeah, it's got puzzles. You pick up bomb flowers and break open rocks. You get things that lets you, like, you get a hook shot, and you get like tools to like dig through rocks and stuff. It's like, it's definitely one of those types of games. And so the combat isn't your typical, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like your typical gacha game, I guess, is my thing. This is more like action adventure gacha, which is kind of strange.
It's not like one of those play the anime gacha games.
Right. And you still get levels, you still unlock like skill trees and things like that. And the progression is very slow, but I mean, I've had a blast doing the story. Talk to every NPC. It is worth talking to every NPC because that is like some of the jokes are so good. Some of the things that the characters say are so they're so quality gems. And like every time you beat a chapter, you get to go to like a new chapter, a new world, a new joke. One of them is like, I really don't want to spoil it, but like they're good. They're good. Yeah. There's some twists and turns. And I'm sure plenty of people are going to know like way more references than me. There was like this one, I'm pretty sure it's like a Chrono Trigger reference that goes into another reference that goes into another reference. It goes into all three of them like back to back. Like you get to this part where you're like, there's a motorcycle race thing. And then like, you know, like other stuff happens that like, cause you have to like, outrun this thing, and then eventually like the one of the bad guys is all like, witness me, like he just like comes screaming across past you, and I'm just like, this is the most is bonkers. It's so funny. It's like, oh, it's so good. I love that. This game's fun. It's put me in a good mood, like West of Loathing good.
Yeah.
But other than that, the stuff that I've played very little of doesn't matter. We will move on to what Boston has been playing.
The only game I've been playing this month is Paper Mario Origami King. I have finished the first streamer. So for anyone that hasn't played this game, the story happens and then like Princess Toadstool's castle gets tied up in these 5 different streamers and you have to go like paper mache streamers. So you got to go essentially like find the end of the streamer and then kind of break it. So I finished the first one and I knew...
How was that boss fight?
I knew the boss fights were different, but I don't think I was expecting to like them as much as I did. So the first... There's like a tutorial boss fight, which is fine. But the first real boss fight, you're fighting against a box of colored pencils.
Yeah.
Which is really good. And all of the colored pencils text is in, like, it looks like they were writing it with colored pencils. It's really well done.
Yep.
And so I've talked about the battle system before. In normal normal battles, you have Mario in the center and there's 4 concentric circles surrounding him. And you have to twist or push or pull those circles or the rows to get the enemies either in a straight line or in a square, and then you can attack them with one of your 2 weapons. The boss battles are cool because the boss is in the middle and you're traversing the rings yourself, and on the rings are different arrows, and then stuff like, oh, you're going to do double damage, or here's some coins, or here's like a special attack. And you're basically, it's like Choo Choo Rocket, if anyone has played that. So you're essentially having Mario follow the arrows. So if he starts out and there's an arrow that points to the left, he's going to traverse that ring to the left until he hits an arrow that sends him somewhere else. So you're sort of creating this path around the boss, and in some cases the boss's attacks, to sort of, and in this instance for the first boss, you want to land on a tile that enables your special attack and land on the special attack from behind the boss, so you can sort of slam the lid of the colored pencil case closed. And it was really good. Like I was sort of, the game did something that I liked pretty much immediately after finishing that first boss fight, which is, by that point I was sort of getting sick of the regular battles against normal enemies, because it's not that they're fun, it's not that they aren't fun, there's just not a ton of variety there. So as soon as I finished that first boss fight, the game is like, hey, you just got stronger. There's no XP or levels or anything. It's like a storyline thing. Hey, you just got stronger. So if you hit an enemy out in the field before they hit you, you just win the battle now. And it's like, all right, yes, all right, finally, like some of the stronger enemies won't do that. You still have to fight them, but like if you come up against like a Goomba or a Shy Guy, you hit them with your hammer and you're just sort of on your way, which is great, especially if you're going to go back like I am and try and find all the toads in an area, like we talked about last month. It's like, yeah, here's this area. You've already saved 30 of them, and you've saved 25% of them in this area. And it's like, oh,
and
God.
You're just like, where did I miss them? I looked everywhere the first time.
And there's some really clever ones where it's like, you see on the side of a mountain, there's like this little pinhole. So you smack your hammer against the side of the mountain, and this little like rolled up piece of paper comes out and floats to the ground. You hit it, and it's a toad. It's like there's weird stuff like that where it's a butterfly's flying around, you smack it with your hammer, that's a toad. like it's just it's a bunch of really weird stuff. But I'm sort of playing this game in fits and spurts, but when I do, I'm kind of sitting down and trying to play it for like 2 or 3 straight hours and make a bunch of progress, and then I don't play it for like 2 more weeks. Not because it's bad, it's just that's kind of how I'm attacking this game for some. You know how RPGs are weird like that, where it's like, I really like playing this game. I'm going to put it down, forget about it for a couple weeks, and then, now I'm back. Sure. Yeah. I think that's the only thing. Did I talk about finishing Final Fantasy VII Remake last month?
I don't think you did. No, I was.
Okay, well,
I remembered you talking about it, but I don't think. Did you talk about beating it?
I don't think I did. Well, I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake then. And I'm definitely not going to spoil the ending, mostly because, number one, it didn't end the way I was expecting it to. I was really expecting it to end. This isn't a spoiler. I was expecting it to end like Midgar ends in Final Fantasy VII, where like the motorcycle skids to a stop, where the freeway runs out, and then you look out over Midgar and you say like, our adventure continues, credits. It did not. That's for sure. The other reason why I can't spoil, why I don't want to spoil this, is I kind of don't understand what the hell happened. A lot of stuff happened. There's a lot of stuff that happened where it's like, wait, who's this? Why are they there? Wait, why is this happening? Wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of like so Final Fantasy VII Remake does a really interesting thing where it asks the question about how far can a remake diverge from the source material, and the game itself discusses that, which I think is endlessly fascinating and a really good question, as this game, as a remake, kind of like pushes against the walls of the original game and like tries to figure out how far it can get away from the source material. In certain instances it does, especially the ending stuff. And I think that's really, really interesting. And I think Final Fantasy VII Remake is really great. From the battle system, graphics, obviously, the new soundtrack is fantastic. I'm really excited to see where this game goes next. Like, what is part 2 going to be? Because it's literally wide open at this point of whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
I think my only criticism is minor spoilers. You've probably seen it by this point. So 3, 2, 1. I wonder if this game would have been stronger if Sephiroth wasn't in it.
So okay, that is, I'm on board with that, because here's the thing: I've talked to several people who never played the original. Never. They went into this going like, I've heard that this is the greatest RPG of all time, and they're like, and I went into it, and they were immensely disappointed and immensely confused by a lot of things in the game, because I feel like it almost requires a little bit of prior knowledge, because they'll be like, who's this person? They didn't really explain this person, or what's this about, and they didn't explain this, and I've had to like basically walk people beat by beat through the story. And
well, I think those people should play the original, because
that's what I said. I'm like, honestly, I was like,
the full thing.
Probably stop playing the remake and play the original.
Or like just wait until the second one where they explain what Kate Sith is, because he shows up for like 7 seconds and people are like, what's that? And it's like, well, play the original or wait for the second one.
So it's such a strange way that I think that they should have marked, maybe they should have like bundled in like the original or something,
or they
like,
should have just called it part 1. like it is like I think it ends in a really great spot. I think the final piece of dialogue is really great, but I think it's really interesting seeing how do I talk about this without spoiling it? I think it's really interesting seeing Sephiroth bothering Cloud through the entire game, and I think it sets him up as a villain in really interesting ways. But it's hard, because if you didn't show Sephiroth until Calm, like in the original game, he wouldn't be in this game at all. And like, he's the biggest, the most famous bad guy of all of the Final Fantasy games. So like, there's an expectation that the bad guy from Final Fantasy would show up in this game. So
do you think it would be better if like because they were already obviously going to intend on dividing this up into across multiple games, would it be better if they just introduced an Act 1 boss that you defeated that was just like, you know, Midgar centric boss?
So they did, and he sucks. The motorcycle guy.
Like, build him up better. Like all the time you spend with Sephiroth, like move that aside.
I think for me, I think it would have been way more interesting if the diversion from the first game with Sephiroth, you sort of talk him up throughout the entire game, or like maybe see a little bit less of him. But the Trail of Blood scene from the original one that really cements Sephiroth in the original one as like, here's a dude like you really don't mess with. I think that would have been the best part to show him. There's a good payoff for it in the remake during the Trail of Blood scene. But like, I think that would have been the really great point to just hammer home like, no, this dude, it really isn't somebody to be messed with, and here's why. But I don't think I fault the game with it. And I'm not the world's biggest fan of the original, so I'm excited and I'm happy that they're kind of playing with Final Fantasy VII here a little bit, because they've cut out some of the stuff that isn't super interesting. They're fleshing out some of the other stuff that I think is interesting. They should have not introduced that guy on the motorcycle, because he just sort of sucks. Like I don't understand why he's in there. He's not that great.
Gosh, I got the most depressing promotional email from Square like at some point in the last few months. And they're saying, are you excited to see the best new Final Fantasy VII character and more stuff? And it was like that guy. And I'm like, it's just like, you guys think anyone liked him?
Right. Like, it's the most boring boss battle in the game. It's just, he's not great. But at the end, I have to say that I am super, super happy with Remake. My only real speed bump of the game was Wall Market. And I think I get what they were going for, and I think in the grand scheme of the game, I don't think that was a mistake. It's just, for me, it was like, I want to keep this momentum going, and Wall Market was a little bit too long. And normally I'd go for the platinum in this game, but I feel like I enjoyed it so much that I kind of don't want to play it to the point where I'd be sick of it, because hard mode is no joke. Like, hard mode is for real, and I don't think I have it in me in hell year 2020 to beat my head. I think I'd almost rather go and play the original Final Fantasy VII and have fun with that than than beat my head against this. So, yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake is really great. I can't recommend it enough, and it's a shoo-in for top 10 of this year, at least on graphics and voice acting alone.
Nice.
But yeah, it's really, really great. But that's all I've been playing this month, so let's talk about RPG releases for September 2020. Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. I don't know why I was stumbling on the easy word in that sentence. Comes out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One on the 8th. This game is so long. Like, I really want to support them coming out with, like, giving Kingdoms of Amalur a second chance. This game is so long. Like, I don't know if I have the time to do this game, but I did really like it on 360. I played a whole bunch of it, and I think I got like halfway through it. So if you're looking for a good RPG to sink your teeth into, and you've already finished Persona 5 Royal, maybe Kingdoms of Amalur is the one to go with. And the last game here coming out, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim comes out for PS4. That is on the 22nd. This is Vanillaware's new game that until shockingly recently, we didn't know what this was. So it's essentially a visual novel with Vanillaware style, which alone is incredible. Plus giant mech battles. So if there was ever a game that was really made for this show, and it's 13 Sentinels. Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about it. Like, their Twitter feed is just like, every couple days they'll be like, this is this character who's in high school and may eventually drive a mech. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
That's the stuff. Yeah, it looks really good. And it has that Vanillaware style. It looks like they have thankfully toned down a lot of stuff from what was the last game they made? The
Dragon's
Brawler.
Crown?
Yeah, Dragon's Crown. As we've said before on many of these shows, Dragon Crown's art style is great, but its art content is not. So it's nice to see them kind of pull that way back, and it's nice to see them kind of do something modern day that they haven't really done before, because like Grim Grimoire was fantasy, and a lot of their other stuff has been fantasy. So I pre-ordered that just recently because I want to support them, and I think Atlas is putting this out, and I definitely want to support Atlas. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm hoping this will be cool because it looks like it has all the right pieces. And let's talk about our news story for the month. Just a real quick one. Witcher 3 is getting a brand new edition for the next-gen consoles and for PC. Normally, this would be an LOL, I'm buying The Witcher 3 again, but CD Projekt Red says it's coming out for free. So PS4 to PS5, Xbox One to Series X, and then PC will get free updates. Updates will add ray tracing, better load times, HDR for the PC version, and other improvements. The update will apply across the entire thing, the base game, all expansions, and all the other, like the free DLC and additions they've done after the game came out. So, Switch isn't getting an update, sort of for obvious reasons, but I thought I'd call that out specifically. The Switcher, as people call it. But that seems pretty cool, because I never finished Blood and Wine. I think it was the last DLC pack. I never finished that, so you give me a ray tracing PS5 version, and I'd hop back in for probably another 100 hours. Cough, cough. But yeah, that's all of our news stories for this month. And that means that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. PickingUpThePixels.com is where you can find and follow us. Everywhere to follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. All the behind-the-scenes, early access, exclusive stuff. There's like uncensored outtakes that we come out with every week. You get all that great audio for like $5 a month. Not per episode, just per month. And then you help me pay for the show. And as we've been talking about, get us to $250 a month goal, and I start playing scary games on stream in the dark with headphones on, and I'm a giant chicken, so I will probably cry at some point. So if you want to pay for me to cry, patreon.com/E1M1. Misan, where can we find you out on the internet?
You can find me at jbaudio.net.
And Mina, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch or YouTube under Mina KO Rocket.
Find all my shows at e1m1.com, and we'll see you all next month. Bye.
Bye.